Okay.
Namo Doi Savariyantam, Namo Doi Savaridanam, Namo Doi Savahiriyam, Namo Doi Savajayanam, Namo Doi Savatrikalavati Savanam, Omkaramindhu Sanyupancham Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Okshadam Che Omkaraya Namo Namah, Manganam Bhagavanayo Manganam Bhutanovi, Manganam Kunkundari Ujendram Bhusamanganam Namasamajisara. Swanubhutya Jathasti Swadhay Bhavaya Vivaha Nirusnidata.
Om Namo Loye Sarvatrikavarti Arantanam. Om Namo Loye Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loye Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Loye Sarvatrikavarti Vajjayanam. Om Namo Loye Sarvatrikavarti Pava Panam Manglalancha Sarvasing Paramam Hoy Manglam Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Seva Omkaraya Namo Saraya Swana Bhutya Chakasake Sthubhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Ajnanati Nirandanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Ne Tirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarotene Namo Te Sri Kundakundane Aho upakara jinavarano kundano dhvani divano jina kunda dhvaniyapya aho te guru kanano aho te bhagavati matano dhruva achalane anupama gati pamela Vandi kahun sutta kevali bhasita asramaya prabhata are eka suddha sada arupi jnana darshanamaya khare kayanyate maru jari paramanu matra nati are jamanetra tema jagnana nati karaka nati vedaka are Jane Jakara Modaya Nirajara Bandate Majamokshane Om Namah Siddhevyo Om Namah Siddhevyo Om Suddhatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra everybody. We'll be looking for some of the things from last week and then we'll progress further. Okay. We'll start from this slide. Okay, last time we talked about it. Share screen. Okay. Last time we talked about it. We'll go through it a little bit because we were last 5 minutes we were trying to rush through it. So, how is the no, not this one? We have to go through 2 more slides. Okay, yeah. So we have to know it, how the knowledge occurs. We already know now what is the attentive phase of Pramat, what is non-attentive phase, pramak. So now we have pretty good idea, and we also related that one to Gunsthanak and all the thing. So we have pretty good idea. Now, what is the mechanism of knowledge occurring in the soul substance? For that thing, as we are just going through this slide. Let me just. Okay, so there is an object of knowledge in front of my eyes. There's an object of knowledge present, and that is a peacock right now. If this peacock is present, I see it and I know it. That's what I believe. So object of knowledge is there. Now there's a knowledge mode occurring within me. Just imagine that's a mirror. Mirror is like a knowledge mode. And in that mirror, there is going to be reflection of this peacock, reflection of this object. And what I just say, this illumination of the object in the modification of the knowledge of the soul is called Gneyakar. The object of knowledge is called Gney. And shape of the object of knowledge occurring in the knowledge mode is an illumination of the object in the mode that is called Gneyakar. So what happened? There is an object present. And as there is object present, it gets illuminated into my knowledge mode. This is my normal concept about how the knowledge occurs. Kunkun Swami says, that's not true. If there is that simple, then we won't be talking Samaysar. We have to go, everything has to be soul-centric. Samaysar means soul-centric. Whatever we talked about has to be associated with the soul only. For example, if I give you a simple sentence that give me definition of samvar, the stoppage of karma, what will be samvar definition we are going to give? We will just say it's the karma stop coming to the soul. Next definition, what's a nirjara definition? Shading definition means shading the karma association from the soul is called nirjara. And what is moksha? All karma gets released from the soul, and that is a moksha. This is garden variety teaching we are being given since very first day that we try to know about it. It is true in a sense. It is for a beginner who knows nothing to make his feet wet into the spirituality. Yes, we can start with this thing in which karma-centric definition we gave it. Samvar means stoppage of karma. Nirjara means shading of karma. Moksha means all the liberation from all the karma particle. But remember, we are talking soul. We are a soul-centric animal. We have to talk from the soul's perspective. So what's a true definition of samvar? True definition means beginning of the purity occurring in the soul substance. When I direct my attention to the soul substance, and now I experience my soul substance transiently, that's a beginning of purity, and that is called samvar. While that beginning of purity occurs in the soul substance, then associative karma stop coming to the soul. But that is karma's problem. Karma is a separate substance. I am the soul. So what happens to me in samvar? Samvar means I have really beginning of the purity, means I have experiencing of my eternal innate nature of the soul substance. Trikali Atma Dravya ki Anubhuti Mujhe hui hai. I have experienced the eternal soul substance. That's a beginning of purity, and that's the real definition of samvara. What's a nijara then? Nijara means the increasing of the purity of the soul substance. Soul from the fourth spiritual development stage now goes to fifth, and then goes to sixth, goes to seventh, increasing purity of the soul substance. That is called nijara. And what's the moksha? Complete purity of the soul substance. Everything has to be soul centric. This one we are talking here, there's an object present, and there is a knowledge mode, and object got illuminated. So illumination becomes secondary, object becomes primary. But that is not true. Okay, let's say then what is truth? That what does Kunkun Swami really want us to know about it? So this, if illumination is due to object, then there is an impurity in the knowledge mode due to presence of an object. This knowledge mode will get impure because it is associated with the object. So there is a gnay krut asuddhata, means knowledge mode gets impure because there is a presence of object. Because of the object, I got the knowledge. That's what, yes.
So, part and parcel to what you're saying, this goes against what we established in the third gata with Ekatva Nischay. I think Ekatva Nischay is self-contained and self-completed.
Because whatever happens in the soul. Things could be there associated with things, but remember, action occurs within the soul. Soul is the bearer of all the activities. Soul does not depend on anything. If this soul has done the knowledge, it does not depend on the object of knowledge. It has to be from within itself, and that's the independence of each substances in the universe. Because if substance is not independent, then there is going to be lots of mixing will occur, impurity will occur. Only the thing third stanza says, substance is pure, and that's why it is beautiful. Substance is impure because it gets associated with the objects of the universe. So remember, really what we have to say is, how can I establish this peacock in my knowledge mode that we talked last week? We will try to go through it, and let's try to see how Acharya asks us to do it. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, just if you can go back to the previous slide.
Okay.
Here's my question. Is the reason why, and it's clear to me why this is not true, what you have in the yellow box. I understand.
Okay.
But what my specific question is, whatever's written in the yellow box, is that contradicted specifically by the third verse?
Yeah, remember what it says, if the illumination is due to an object, if this illumination occurred because of this guy present, if this illumination occurred because of this guy present, then there is an impurity. But if this illumination, if I believe it happened independent of if the object being present, independently happening, then there is no impurity. Because if I say I'm getting knowledge because of object being present, I'm getting knowledge because phone is there, I'm getting knowledge because this wire is there. No, my knowledge did not occur because of object being present. I'm independent. Soul is independent. All the remaining of all the six universal substances of the universe, they are independent. Nobody can interfere in their action. Now, what happens? The object of knowledge can be present as instrumental cause. But what does instrumental cause do to the action of the object? Nothing. It's merely present but cannot take care of the part in the reaction occurring in this knowledge mode. Knowledge mode independently produces this image. We will see that one in the next slide. But I know you have raised this issue from before also. Let me take the third stanza again here and what it says. Third stanza says, Sutta parichita anubhuta sarvane kama bhoga bandhanani katha parathi juda ekatvani upalabdhi kevala sulabhana. What it says? I have seen this thing. I have seen peacock that is occurring in my knowledge, and I know it is occurring because of peacock being present. If this peacock is not present, I won't be knowing. In this example, if we take mirror, then if the peacock is not present, mirror will not show peacock. If the knowledge mode is there, and if the object of knowledge is not there, then that illumination will not occur. That's what we believe. And this type of belief I have since time infinite, that I know because of this object being present, I know because object being present, I know because object being present. Now, let me throw the things, no, let's finish this third stanza. Parthi juda ekatvani upalabdhi keval sulabhana. Means, I have never said that I am pure and I am the reason for this illumination occurring within me. I am the reason for this illumination. That I have never believed since time infinite, and that's why I'm in the wrong belief state. Now, let's take one example. If I say to you, if I say to the group today that knowledge occurs because the light being present, because object being present, and because the senses, 5 senses, physical senses being present, otherwise no knowledge occurs. For example, right now, you are looking at me, but now I put the lights off. Now you can say, wait a second, I don't see you now. So light has to be present to get the knowledge. Object has to be present. Here this object is present, that's why object has to be present to get a knowledge. And I have to have senses. If I don't have my eyes, if I don't have my eyeglasses, if I don't hear very well, if I don't smell good, if my tongue is not working good, I may not be able to get the knowledge. I may not be able to perceive outside object. So, general belief we have it that light, senses, and object, and those 3 things are present, and that's the reason I'm getting knowledge. Now let's bring Acharya Kunkun Swami and Gurudev Kanji Swami and what they say to us. What they are saying, okay, there's a night, you are sleeping, the room is dark, your eyes are closed, so there is no light. You are deep sleep, so all your senses are now resting. Eyes, ear, nose, eye, ear, nose, tongue, and the skin. Everything is resting right now. So even senses are not working. And there is no object present because I'm sleeping right now. Now, I have perceived a dream. And in the dream, I say that I'm the king. I'm sitting on a throne. And there is a bright lights are there around. There's a fantastic music going on, dances going on, all kind of things are going on. And everybody tells me, you are the king, you are the king. They are touching my feet and they are all this thing I'm perceiving as if I'm exactly there. Now, at that time, is a light being present? Is the senses being present? Or is an object being present? All the 3 things are absent. How do I perceive all this thing then? Because I have my knowledge mode makes that perception. For example, also, second example, let's say that I saw Ankit month and a half back. Now I'm thinking about him. He's not present in front of me. How will I have complete picture about him? That I was sitting with him, we are taking dinner together, then we went to the temple. How do I perceive all the things when he's not in front of me present? So my soul is a reason for making all these things. The knowledge, primary reason, soul is the thing. So once I know that, but that I am the reason for this picture, not the object of knowledge present there. Once I come to that conclusion, then it's a very first step I'm taking towards spirituality, to understand the nature of the soul and everything. If I want to understand the soul, I have to get the object of knowledge. I have to take separation from them, and that's called Vedgnan, that's called discriminating knowledge. So I have to have that kind of thing. So now let's try to go to the next slide and try to see how the knowledge actually occurs in me. There's a soul substance, and then there is a knowledge attribute, and then there is a knowledge mode. Now, this knowledge mode, soul substance, knowledge attribute, and knowledge mode. This knowledge mode is also called upyog. It's called attentive consciousness. So it's called upyog also. So it's a knowledge mode right now. Soul substance, having the infinite attributes, including knowledge attribute, and knowledge attribute keeps on making modification every samay keeps on going on. I had gone out today, I came back, I took lunch, and now I try to get ready for tomorrow. So those are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 activities I perceived, but in fact, every samay I have a different modification occurring, because my knowledge is not my upyog, my attentive consciousness is not strong enough that I can't perceive everything. So I'm perceiving only very gross few things. So my knowledge mode occurring from me. These are the actions occurring within me. All these actions, nothing has happened from outside. Now,
can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Knowledge mode is equal to Gnan Paryay?
Gnan Paryay is knowledge mode, yes.
Is equal to Upyog?
Upyog, yes.
Okay.
No definition in the Panchastika, I think in the 34th stanza or something, it says, Jeev Dravyani Chaitanya Anuvidhai Parinamne Upyog Kaise. Atmana Chaitanya Anuvidhai Parinamne Upyog Kaise. Atmana, soul substance. Chaitanya Anuvidhai means knowledge and perception attribute, and Anuvidhai Parinaman. Parinaman means knowledge and perception mode. So
okay, thank you.
Knowledge and perception mode, mainly we can just say knowledge right now. Perception is it occurs basically at the Keval Gnan time and Keval Darshan time. So what we will not be able to perceive our perception at so knowledge mode, we'll just take it simply. So soul substance, knowledge attribute, knowledge mode, that means upyog. This is upyog. And this knowledge mode now, what happens? This knowledge mode independently has it makes a shape of knowledge mode. Means this gnanakar occurring by itself by knowledge mode. Remember, this knowledge mode, let's take the example of an ocean. Ocean is there, and I'm sitting on the bank of the, I'm sitting at the, on the beach, and I'm just looking at the ocean continuously, and waves after waves after waves after waves, they come, big waves, small wave, moderate wave, very small wave, all those different types of waves are coming, they come, they break, and then they go back to the ocean. So the ocean, consider ocean as a soul substance. And all this, waves coming are knowledge mode. They come and they go back into the ocean. They come, they have origination, then there is cessation. Origination, cessation. Utpat, vyay. Utpat, vyay. Behind that, the soul substance remains constant. The wave came in, originated, wave got dissipated, but this ocean remains constant. So Utpat, Vyay, Dhruv. So Utpat, Vyay, Dhruv, those things are happening all the time. And this knowledge mode is a present knowledge mode we are talking, but there are infinite knowledge modes occurred in the past. There is one knowledge mode is occurring right now, present time. And there is a infinite times infinite knowledge modes will come in the future. What Kunkun Swami says and what Gurudev Kanji Swami says, that these modes are prefixed, predetermined, and they come of their particular time. They already are predetermined to occur in certain form. So now this knowledge mode, this soul substance, having the knowledge attribute, making knowledge mode, this knowledge mode says that I'm going to have a shape of knowledge mode in certain way, and that will be my own creation. And so it just says I'm going to have a peacock in my knowledge mode right now. This again, remember, so right now we are still with the soul substance. We are not gone out of the soul substance. All these things occur in the soul substance, and that too, everything occur, all the action occurred in the knowledge mode, because those paryay, this Gnan paryay, this Gnan paryay is a prefixed, predetermined. Since time infinite, they are coming, and they will keep on coming in the future in a particular time, particular place, particular mode will occur. Gnan paryay te potana janma sthale hajar thase, and that will never come back, same thing again. So this knowledge mode, it was predetermined, prefixed since time infinite, that I'm going to have the picture of, I'm going to have the shape of my knowledge mode will have a shape of a peacock. At that time now, while this thing is happening, at that time, there is a peacock present as an object, present as an instrumental cause only. This peacock has not, done anything. It's an object of knowledge. All these things were predetermined, prefixed to occur in my knowledge mode, and that for sure. Now, while this is happening, this guy came as an instrumental cause. Now, if we can understand this part very well, now take this peacock out. Remember, object of knowledge. Let me bring that slide quickly. Previously we went through, because now we are just digesting one important point. Okay, here. Remember, alien objects that we talked about, how many are there? There are house, family, money, etc. are also called alien objects. Now, physical senses and body is also called, physical body is called also alien objects. Then material karma are also called alien objects. And inclination of aversion and attachment, rag and dvesh are also called alien objects for me. In the previously minute before we are talking, and we are talking object of knowledge, and we were using peacock. One of the guys over here is peacock, and Kunkun Swami says, Acharya Kunkun Swami says that, house, family, money are object for alien object, that we know it. Physical body also probably we can accept that. Material karma, because they are material karma, they're physical karma, they are non-living matter, and so they are separate from it, so they are alien objects. And last thing is rag and dvesh. my own inclination of attachment and aversion, they are also called alien objects. So whenever we use the word alien objects, so whenever we use alien objects, now we are going to use word inclination of attachment and aversion. Means we are going to say rag and dvesh are the alien par padarth for me. It's kind of very radical thoughts right now. How can have my own inclination of attachment and aversion? They can be called par padarth. They can be called alien object. How? How can that be? Our acharyas and our Gurudev has given us the proof how they are. Now, if you can understand this part, whenever now onwards, whenever we are going to talk alien objects, we are going to talk about inclination of attachment and aversion. We are going to talk my own rag and dvesh. I'm going to talk about it. That's what Samaysar says, that whenever you are going to talk alien objects par padarth, means it has to be rag and dvesh only. These are the things so secondary that once we control this situation, they automatically disappear. They automatically go away. You don't have to force that one. You don't have to just do anything to the body or anything to the house, family, money, or material karma. Material karma also will get dissipated by themselves, because once I'm working on this inclination of attachment and aversion. So having said that, par padarth, alien object means inclination of attachment and aversion. Now, why? Question is why? Because what happens that the inclination of attachment and aversion in fact are generated in the soul. I am the one who is becoming angry. I have anger, deceit, ego, and greed within me. So how can they be alien objects? Inclination of attachment and aversion, they are the shortened version, but rag and dvesh is shortened version of talking about it. But in fact, it includes all four toxic emotions, means anger, ego, deceit, and greed. All four, krodh, man, maya, lobh, means rag and dvesh. Krodh and man means dvesh. Maya and lobh is rag. So either we say rag and dvesh, or we can call krodh, man, maya, lobh, or we can call toxic emotions. All those things means the same. So remember, anger, deceit, ego, greed occurs within me, myself. It doesn't happen in this non-living telephone. It is occurring within me. So how can they be alien objects? Remember, Samaysar being the scripture of Drashti Pradhan. Drashti Pradhan means Samaysar is a scripture where there is a faith faith attribute is been mainly talked about. I have only two faith right now, two types of faith. Either I can have my faith directed to alien objects, or my faith directed to my own true nature of the self. That's it. So now, Samaysar says, put your faith on the true nature of the self, and everything else is secondary for you. So now, in inclination of attachment and aversion, rag and dvesh, even though they occur within me, when did they occur within me? Tell me now. When did the rag and dvesh, when did anger, ego, deceit, and greed occur within me? They occurred within me when I directed my attention to outside object. I'm angry at you because you made my life miserable. I have greed. I need to have, I have only old version of the phone and you guys have a latest version of the phone. I need to have the new one. I need to have a new one because I directed my attention to outside. I have deceitful nature because something you have it, something I don't have it. So I start playing games because I directed my attention to outside world. I have an ego. Why I have ego? There are 1,000 people in the in this gathering. Is there 1,000 people, and they are saying, here is a Kirit Gosalia, greatest of the great, and he did this and that and everything. What will happen to me? My ego will go to the sky high because I'm just directing my attention to the object of people being present there. Or other side of the coin, they did not give any attention to me, and I will feel hurt within me because I wanted to have attention from other people. So anger, deceit, ego, greed, all those toxic emotions, they are occurring because when I'm projecting myself to outside world, projecting myself to outside material things. Because I'm projecting to outside material thing, and that's why I have anger, ego, deceit, greed. That Acharya Bhagwan says that all this rag and dvesh, we just say they are also material particle. Because their origin is because of material particles being present, material object being present. And that's why inclination of attachment and aversion, even though they are occurring within me, but because they are occurring as a result of an alien object, and that's why they are also called alien objects. This is the faith, this is the attention perspective. When my attention is drawn to my inner, eternal, true nature, then anger, deceit, ego, greed will become secondary for me, and because they are occurring as a result of object being present, so they are also object. In a Prajansar, if you go to Prajansar, if you go to Panchastika, they are the knowledge-based scriptures, and there they will just say inclination, aversion occurs in the soul substance, so it belongs to soul substance. So how do you look at it? If I'm looking at the modal perspective right now, then anger, deceit, ego, greed are mine. But when I'm looking at the substantial perspective, means I'm looking at the eternal true nature of the self only, I'm putting my direction to the eternal true nature of the self only, then anger, deceit, ego, greed, or rag and dvesh, inclination of attachment, aversion, they become all secondary, they become alien objects. So here in Samaysar, when we are going to talk inclination of attachment, aversion, they will be treated as alien objects. Is that point clear? Because this is very delicate point, and if we understand that part, we are really ready for this next stanza and this stanza, and thereafter again and again next thing when it comes. It has to be clear in my mind.
I have a question, Kirit uncle.
Go ahead.
So you basically said that the rag and dvesh happens, its cause is par padarth, so pote par padarth hai.
Yeah. No, because it is happening as a result of par padarth, that's why they are called par padarth also.
Okay, but you know that gnani paryay,
Yes.
the gnani paryay also happened because of that par padarth, that peacock. So how come that is not considered par padarth? That's my question.
Remember, gnani paryay, that paryay was predetermined, prefixed to occur at that moment as a shape of peacock in its knowledge mode. It was supposed to happen that way only. Because it was supposed to happen that way only, peacock is present as an object outside. But the real knowledge occurred in the knowledge mode of the peacock. The knowledge mode by itself created the shape of a peacock within the knowledge mode. So that's why knowledge mode knew the peacock. At the time, other peacock, the object peacock was present as an instrumental cause. It did not do it. Its presence was there, but it did not play any part in the reaction. Because the knowledge mode itself has predetermined, predestined, decided that I'm going to be in the shape of a peacock, and I'll be knowing that peacock mode, peacock paryay. At the time, peacock was simply present. So now, instead of my attention on actual peacock, now I have attention actually on my knowledge mode. So, and the knowledge mode is coming from knowledge attribute. The knowledge attribute is coming from the eternal true nature of the soul substance. So each time I knew if each time I end up perceiving anything, if each time I end up perceiving an object, that means my eternal true nature of the soul, I'm illuminating that one, because I give the importance to that. So I should just know who am I because of my soul substance, that I'm able to know this one. In Kripaludev, in Atmasiddhi, the Gatha says that Jananarne Jananai Kahiye Kevu Gnan. You know, the soul substance is a knower. And if I don't know the soul substance, and I know the whole world, I know whole world. I know who is my son, how many kids I have, my wife, what is her name. I know where I'm living. I know everybody's name, but I don't know who I am. I know everybody except myself. Will it not be considered as a fool? Won't you know yourself first, then you know the other people? So this is what it is. Now we are coming to the peacock. Remember this picture in your mind, that alien object means influence of attachment and aversion. Keeping that one in mind, I'm going to bring the picture again, the peacock thing, and we'll see, we'll try to bring one more point. Okay, now, as we said, this peacock is present as an instrumental cause, object of knowledge only. Now, what did we say object of knowledge just now, a minute before? My influence of attachment and aversion is an object of knowledge. This peacock is not important for me. This is just for a schematic diagram that we put peacock. But now I'm going to put the object of knowledge as an influence of attachment and aversion over here, rag and dvesh. So what happened? My knowledge mode ends up having reflection or illumination of rag and dvesh within me, and my sphere of action is only in this area. Let me just have the pen. My sphere of action is only over here. This is my sphere of action only. So, what happened now? That in this area, my knowledge mode by itself, by its own independent, just has known, it has a reflection of rag and dvesh within its mode, and it ends up knowing this mode only. So these guys are already cut it out. All Vednan occur, all discriminator science occurred between these two, and now I'm knowing over here. For example, a dog has a dog bone, he takes a bone and he starts chewing the bone. And when he's chewing the bone, his palate gets damaged and there is a blood comes out, and now he's tasting the sweetness of his blood. What did the dog think about? Dog thinks that I am getting taste of the blood from bone. What is his wrong belief? I'm getting the taste, sweetness, sweet taste coming out from bone. In actuality, he is tasting his own blood. So, in actuality, I am perceiving my own mode, which has reflection of rag and dvesh within. There is a rag dvesh sitting over here as outside as an object. They simply present as an instrumental cause, and they got reflected within me. So my knowledge mode just knew this situation only. My knowledge mode did not do anything to rag and dvesh, and that's why rag and dvesh becomes object of knowledge. See, this is a really a critical point that we are passing through to understand this part. And I'll be honest with you, it took a long time for me to digest this principle. And I was...
Kirit, uncle?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kirit, uncle, this is Preeti. If I can ask you,
Go ahead.
the rag and dvesh is a nimit,
Yes.
right? It's an instrumental cause.
Yes.
And so if it's an instrumental cause, if it illuminates in a knowledge mode, then I lost you. Because then if it's illuminated, then your soul knows about it.
No.
So you're saying...
Actually, the illumination was a capacity of the knowledge mode by itself. Remember this circle that we drew? This is the sphere of action of my soul. I don't have any other action outside this sphere of this red line. That's only my sphere of action is over here. I can't do anything to the alien objects of the universe, including rag and dvesh. So even though rag and dvesh are occurring within me, they are already been discriminated upon, and they have been said, you are not my part. You are not my part. This rag and dvesh have been said, you stay away from me. You are not part of me, because I am the all-knower soul substance, and I know my knowledge mode only. My knowledge mode has whatever reflection is there. I know that part only. I don't go out to look here. I'm just looking at my own knowledge mode.
But see, this is where I get more confused, because if that's the case, if I want Samyak Nan, Samyak Darshan, Samyak Jarigar, I need to say Rag and Dvesh is not part of me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But then, if Rag and Dvesh is part of my knowledge mode, and it is time infinite, then it's determined in time infinite some way when I will actually get Samyak Nan, Samyak Darshan, Samyak Jarigar. So I want to know where my soul has some control to get what I want.
Hey,
Can I, do you mind if I say something about that?
Go ahead.
I think that's the perfect question, and I think what's happening here has to do with that upyog, and maybe the upyog from Anadi, from time infinite, is focused on that Parpadarth,
Yes.
that drug, that outside substance, that rag and dvesh, and it identifies with it, and so that's the mistake it's making from every second. It keeps seeing that in that mirror, and it says that that's me. That's me. And if it stops doing that and it looks inwards,
You are hitting the point.
No, Chirag, my question was different. My question was, if the knowledge attribute is time infinite, and if it's already determined what is going to be in my knowledge mode, and if it's Raga and Dvesh, then I can't get what I want, and that is Samyak Nan, Samyak Darshan, Samyak Jarigar.
I'm saying if you stop identifying with what's happening in that knowledge mode. So I think the identification that that's me has to change.
See,
I'm not getting that, because there's some... So Chirag, also, I don't understand some of the Gujarati, so
no problem.
Everything needs to be in English for me.
I think it's good that you are confused at this point, though.
that is there.
And it's a whole... when you are getting confused, means you have to start thinking about it. And that's a real strong beginning. Because until now, I never realized all this thing. I never thought about it. Now remember one thing here. We'll answer both the questions, and Chirag already hit the questions very well. See, remember, my sphere of action is over here, right? I know the rag, and I'm knowing my knowledge more, having rag and dvesh, right? Now, think about it. Think about it. Think this peacock has a whole universe right now. Whole universe. Whole universe. And not only whole universe, but past, present, and future of everything happening in the whole universe. That's an object of knowledge.
Okay.
That object of knowledge get reflected in my knowledge mode, and I don't get any attachment to that one. Then what happens? Let it get eliminated. I don't care about it. I'm not going to get associated with, oh wow, it's such a beautiful peacock, then I'm looking at it. So I don't have that wow factor. I just simply say it is there within me. Now, whole universe here, past, present, and future modes of every 6 universal substances being present here as an object of knowledge and getting reflected in this knowledge mode. But if my attention is drawn to the soul substance only, nowhere else, then this reflection can occur. It doesn't make any difference to me as a soul substance. And that is what Siddha Bhagwan is. Siddha Bhagwan, he's concentrating on the soul substance non-stop, continuously. Now, in his mode, whole universe, past, present, future modes of each and every substances get reflected here. You get illuminated here. But what does Siddha Bhagwan says? I'm the soul substance. It can get illuminated, but doesn't get illuminated. Doesn't make any difference to me whether the whole world is present or not, because I'm in my own innate nature right now. So even though things are getting illuminated, he doesn't have any association with those things. Now, for me alone right now, the little peacock got illuminated. Wow, beautiful! My God, I went to Africa or I went to India and I saw the peacock. They come to my backyard and in my front yard. Why do I get associated with that? So I had to get my knowledge mode has to be without any association with all outside object. Now, Preeti's question that if this is the case, how will I, if this peacock mode was predetermined, prefixed, then how will I get Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gnan, Samyak Charitra? Because if I can understand from this picture, I understand that my sphere of action is over here only. No matter whatever happens, my sphere of action is here. I can't do anything to anybody over here. If this is my rag dvesh, I can't do anything about it. I just become the gnata drashta, means I become observer about it, and I just become perceiver about it, and I don't become doer about it. My doership is not over here. My ownership is not over here. My ownership is within me only. When I know this very well, then my ownership remains within me only, and I try to concentrate on my soul substance. And when I concentrate on the soul substance, the knowledge mode coming out will be pure, and all this outside material thing will remain as an object in which I don't have any attention, I don't have any affection at all. So what do I have to do? What is my action? What's my game plan today? Is just to concentrate on my soul substance, because that's only the thing I can do about it. I can't do anything to this guy. I can't do anything to anybody else. My sphere of action remains within me. And as long as, how many times I as a parent will say, if I was not there, what will happen to this kid? Or if my parents or my in-laws are here, what will I say? If I'm not here, how will those in-laws will be taken care of? Or they gave me problem in the past, why should I help? No, I don't have to worry about what happened in the past, what happens in the future, what's happening now. My sphere of action is within me. I have to concentrate on the soul substance. Once I concentrate on the soul substance, once I experience the soul substance, that means, Siddha Bhagwan says, Aryan Bhagwan says, I knew that you are going to have a pure mode of a Samyak Darshan occurring over here. So when I'm withdrawing from outside material substances and all the objects, when I concentrate within myself, then the resulting mode will be pure mode.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So the soul substance is different and separate from the knowledge attribute?
Yes and no. Yes and no in the sense, they are part and partial of the soul substance. Attribute and mode are, they're indivisible. You cannot take the mode, you cannot take attribute out, you cannot take soul substance. They all are globed together, one unit only. But for our understanding purpose, we just divide them, that this is soul substance, this is knowledge attribute, this is knowledge mode. And so we try to make divisions in an indivisible state. These things are...
So can I try to rephrase it?
Yeah.
So you're saying the soul substance should treat the knowledge attribute as irrelevant and just be separate from it. And that's when you can get the Samyak, non-Samyak darshan. And you should say, even though knowledge attribute is time infinite, be irrelevant with whatever knowledge you get.
Yeah. Because
correct?
Ultimately, this guy is a ultimate controller of all these things, because he is the ultimate things. This is one thing that I have to concentrate, is a soul substance. Attributes are infinite in number. Modes are infinite in number. So I cannot concentrate on everything. If I have to concentrate on one thing only, soul substance. And if I understand that one, if I concentrate on that one, if I just make my total attention to this soul substance only, and everything else is secondary, then I have Samyak Darshan. Samyak Darshan occurs because I have concentrated on my soul substance only. Does it make sense?
Yeah, so then that's where the soul has control, and we can say, I'm going to concentrate on the soul substance, so then we can get the Samyak Nan, Samyak Darshan, Samyak Charitra,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter what's happening in time infinite because it's irrelevant. Correct?
Yes, you are right.
Is that correct? So that is how we can say, even though everything is happening with Raga and Dvesh, time infinite, it's irrelevant.
Irrelevant, yeah, because I'm just concentrating on this guy alone, and I make everybody else secondary. All these things on this, below this one, second. This is my tunnel vision. This is only Arjun and his cousin brothers. They all were told that now the guru was Dron. And Dron said that now I'm going to find it out that who is expert in arrow, aiming the arrow. And so he puts one picture, one toy of a bird on a tree, and then he asked everybody, just look at it. What do you see? People said, well, I see the tree, and I see the people, and I see this and that, and cloud and sky. And no, you failed. So all those people were failed. When the Arjun's time came, what do you see? So he says, I can't see anything except the right eye of the bird. Then the drone says, okay, let your arrow go. When he does that, and he is passing that way. So concentration has to be there. Remember, we do this kind of thing, concentration in our own life. If I'm working on a computer, if I'm a computer engineer, I'm working on a computer, I forget everything else around me. If I'm a medical doctor, if I'm working in the angiogram lab, if I'm working on a patient, I have concentration, undivided attention to my patient only. I don't remember what is happening outside. What music is playing, I have no idea. This concentration is on my patient. So we have done that one. Now we have to do a concentration of the soul substance. That's why we have to understand all these things. Once I understand, I have to understand what's knowledge attribute, what's a knowledge mode, how is the shape of knowledge mode occurring in these things, how come it is time infinite. All those things, once I understand, then I say, everything is secondary. I have to go over here, and that's it. But we have to understand it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I understand, then I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
I understand that the dravya, the gun, and the paryay is sva, and I understand that rag and dvesh are par.
Yes.
Now, here's my question. With your arrow, can you point to where a Shuddha Paryay lives? And then can you point to where Rag and Dvesh lives on your picture?
Okay. This is Rag and Dvesh occurring as an object. This is Rag and Dvesh. Let's see. I am getting angry right now. This is anger over here. This anger over here get reflected in my knowledge mode. So my knowledge mode end up knowing the illumination of the anger in my knowledge mode. So my knowledge mode end up knowing my knowledge mode in which there was an illumination of the anger. So this. What did I see right now? What did I perceive? I perceived my knowledge mode only, in which there was a shape of the anger was reflected. That's all I know. So I end up knowing my knowledge mode only. This guy, whether he's there or not, it is immaterial because it is an instrument of cause. This is the whole crux in this sixth stanza. That again, as we start next, my idea was to go to the next slides and everything, but from last week's slide, we just never were able to get out of it. But it's very important, point gets cleared in my mind that knowledge attribute, this knowledge mode, what does this knowledge mode know? Knowledge mode knows the illumination of the object in its knowledge mode. So knowledge mode ends up knowing the knowledge mode in which there was a reflection of the anger, ego, deceit, greed. So my knowledge mode is always pure. My knowledge mode always knows my own knowledge mode. It always knows what is happening, in what's get illuminated. My anger, it's now dissipated. It is separate entity right now. My knowledge mode has an illumination of that anger. And that's what knowledge mode ends up knowing. Now, these are the questions we have, and these are the questions that sixth stanza is going to answer. We are not. We are just into the part of the stanza explanation only. Now we are going to go to Gatharth. Tika. Tika means what does Amrit Chandracharya takes the essence out of this very, very, very complex and a very delicate principle, how he tries to explain to us, So we'll be going through. And again, these are the things I'm very, very encouraged because there's lots of questions occurring. And because these questions means we are trying to understand. Everything has to be in this circle only because everything else happening outside, I have no control and they don't belong to me. Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh, they don't belong to me. Even though they are occurring within me, but when I'm talking from the soul, as soul substance perspective, they are alien object for me, So why should I worry about alien objects? That kind of understanding, when I have it,
Vedanto?
yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So you said two things. You said that it's an alien object, which I agree. It's part of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's happening within me.
No, yeah, because remember, the anger, deceit, ego, greed, where are they occurring? In my paryay, in my mode. But when I'm looking at the soul substance as my ultimate aim, means I'm making, as Preeti said, everything else, after knowing everything, I make them secondary. They are present, I make them secondary. My aim is a soul substance only. Somebody insulted me, it's my soul substance, I'm looking at it. Because my insult that I felt is a knowledge mode I felt. It was coming from knowledge attribute, and it's coming from the soul substance. So when I felt the insult, means I am publicizing my soul substance. When I'm angry, that means it is occurring. The soul substance is a reason for knowledge. Because remember, knowledge mode perceives the illumination of anger, ego, deceit, and pride. All those things, it has been reflected in the knowledge mode, coming from knowledge attribute, because of the soul substance. So ultimately, each time I know, and that's why I'm just publicizing my soul substance. Atma dravyani prasiddhi thai rahi sakte vakte. Any time when we have any kind of knowledge, means I am publicizing my soul substance. That kind of attitude, if I create all the time, when I anger, then I can say, okay, I'm only the knower about it. I'm the perceiver about it. I can't.
It is happening inside the soul, then, right?
I'm sorry.
Rag and Dvish. So tell me if I'm correct. What I'm saying. Here's my 2-sentence summary for myself.
Yeah.
Rag and Dvish is happening inside the soul.
Yeah.
But it is not of the soul.
Yes, and that's a very perfect sentence, because inside the soul, but because okay, here is an anger, deceit, ego, greed, right? Why did they occur? Because I directed my attention to outside world. So if I'm not putting any attention to outside world, I'm concentrating within my sphere of action only, then there is no reason for anger, ego, deceit, greed to occur. So it is occurring in the soul substance, but soul is not the doer of it. Soul is not the owner of it. For example, I have, in my body right now, there is an abscess. Where is the abscess? Is it in my body or not? Yes. Do I want to be owner of that abscess? No, I would like to get rid of it as soon as possible. Even though abscess is occurring within me, on my skin, in my hand, but it's not part of me. I would like to get rid of it. So anger, deceit, ego, greed, they are like an abscess occurring within me. Throw them out, get them out. I don't care about it. But they are not part of, even though they are occurring within me, they are not part of my health. So anger, deceit, ego, they are occurring within me, but I'm the soul substance. I'm the perfect, healthy person. I have no part of those things. So I'm just ignoring them, and I'm going to throw them out. Right? I think we have to reflect on this one, keep thinking about it, and we'll just talk more about it. If it takes more time, I have no problem, because it is, we will have to go very slowly, because from now onwards, it's going to be very steep rise coming. So as much question that we have it, as much discussion that we have it, it will be very, very important, no problem. If you're not totally confused, then we can continue. Otherwise, we can take a rest.
Yeah. I'll think about it, and maybe I'll ask later. But my ultimate goal is to make sure I'm having trouble with the time infinite part. So if it's already predetermined, time infinite,
Yeah.
then I want to be able to have some control to decide how I get what I want.
Yeah, because it's predetermined, but I don't know what is coming when. So when I look at the soul substance and I said, you know what, I'm taking refuge in my soul substance only. That's it.
Okay.
Once I take
Okay.
it, then the next mode occurring will be pure mode of Samyak Darshan over here. Rag Desh mode will not be there. It will be mode of Samyak Darshan will be there.
But isn't Samyak Darshan predetermined?
Yeah, predetermined, but I don't know. It's occurring tomorrow or next life or 10,000 lives away. I don't
Okay.
know. So my job is, first thing, let my attention from the outside object get diminished, decrease, and my sphere of action becomes less and less and less and less. So I have better chance to go and rest by myself in the soul substance.
Okay. So I think we have to just do what we can, and that's our perspective.
That's what, and we have to take refuge in our soul substance. But which soul substance? What about this thing? What about? So we have to have better understanding, and then we just aim on one thing. You know, we have to understand all these things, and then aim. My final aim will be over here. Ultimately.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Any more questions? Nothing coming, so then we can start closing. All right. Javani ke gyan se suji lokalo, sovani mastaka namo sada deta hoda. No one no coming through. Jai Jinendra. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Janendra, thank you.
Thank you.
Jai Janendra, thank you.
Thanks.
Kirit uncle,
Yeah.
I will not be able to meet at the next